process as long as we work together. And some of you probably have done it when we did it 5 years ago. They used to do it every 10 years, but I think starting in 2005, they have it where we go through every 5 years. So, as Dr. Sullivan said, it used to be called SACS, the Southern Association of Accreditation, but it's not. The company is they're doing more in different areas and not only the southern part of the state. So, advanced ed. What is advanced ed? Can anybody tell me what they think this accreditation process is? Well, it's a self-assessment. It's really a self-assessment. We're looking at what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, and we can build on those weaknesses. We can make recommendations, things that we need to see our school move forward. So that's all it is, a self-assessment. We're going to, they have standards that we will use to assess ourselves. There are 5 standards, and you all have been broken up into those different standards. And I think the Sharp and I did a really good job pairing you all up. I think I know you all pretty well. In personalities and how you all can work together. Yes. Even you, Mr. Brooks. Okay, so, even as an educator, you should do a self-assessment of yourself. I know a while back I printed out a form and had my students to assess me. And of course you'll get some students that'll say, oh, she gives too much work, you know, that kind of thing. But some things you can think, I may need to improve on that. So you ought to try it. Just go on the internet, find a student to teacher assessment form, print it out, and see how you can grow as an educator. It really will help you if you would do that. So that's what we're going to do, look at ourselves. And this process is not to say, you know, I got you, you know, for them to come in to look at all our weaknesses. So we need to elaborate on the things that we've done well. Football team has done a wonderful job. Baseball team, you know, to brag about ourselves academically. What we're doing the IB program. All those things we need to talk about, and some things that we need to work on. Okay, I'm trying to go through this. Okay. So we went to training, and we talked about Best Savior in October, I think it was. And then in December 16th, Ms. Sharp was added to TIS. She went to the session. Ms. Bells and Dr. Sullivan also attended down in Lincoln. So we have to have the self-assessment done by the end of January. We're going back down to Lincoln, and the people that are over Advanced Ed will meet with us to look at our self-assessment and to make any suggestions. And then we have more work to do, and that the whole report has to be turned in by the end of March. It has to be turned in 4 weeks prior to their visit. And they will do the visit the end of April. So we want to try to get everything done. And hopefully we can knock out this assessment today, so you won't have to spend so much time during the week or after school working on this assessment. Okay. So we're going to review our data, and before you left, I asked the teachers to do their surveys, and we had to have about 60%. I think we got that as of last night. I was pushing for it. I even text some of my colleagues to do the survey. If you still want to do the survey, I would keep it open so you can give your opinion. The students completed the survey. We still need a few more students to do the survey, and the parents also did the survey. So I'm just gonna let you know what some of the top 3. I just kind of skimmed through some of the data. With the students, the main problem they talked about were lunches. They talked about administration, and they also said teachers don't care. They don't have, I guess, a caring heart for them. That were some of the comments that I saw. With the parents, they said that they liked that we had tutorial programs available. They said that they felt teachers cared about their children, and they felt that the school was a safe environment. Some things they didn't like were they can't get in contact with the school. No one ever answers the telephone. I mean, I've heard that several times. Someone had to call down to the board to get me one day. They said that not enough grades were in the computer for a particular class, and I know that's true because I did see out there only 3 grades for a student from a particular class. And they mentioned administration as well. Okay. With the faculty, kind of saw that it said administration, students were being held accountable for their actions, and I think that's kind of when I pulled the results earlier during the break. Those are some of the things that I saw. So we see our weaknesses, things that we need to grow on. So we have to make recommendations or things that can move our school forward. Or something else. They thought Wednesday should be a regular school day instead of the whole day, the skinny day. Okay.
Who said that? The parents, teachers, or
the teachers. Okay. So those are some of the things, and I will print out the results for you, because some standards will need certain demographics to do their review. Okay. So we took this information from our stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? Okay, parents, teachers. Okay, so let's okay, those are our stakeholders. Okay, so we're going to look at those results and to move the school forward. And when we work on this, we're going to have to provide supporting evidence. So I know with standard 3, they're going to have to pull a lot of evidence, maybe test data. Well, you can't go back 3 years because we don't have the graduation exam anymore, right? So you're going to have to write that up. We don't offer well, everyone in the state will have to do this, but we don't offer the graduation exam anymore, but we may look at our ACT scores. I don't know if y'all want to look at the end of the year exam. So you're going to have to pull data and look at that and kind of elaborate on that. So you're going to have supporting evidence when you get ready to write your summaries for your particular standards. It needs to be at least a page and a half. One of the things that they said that a lot of the summaries are not long enough. And so once you get in talking about the things that you do well, and if there are some things that you need to improve on, you need to kind of elaborate a little bit more on that. Okay? And that's in our narrative. Well, I guess and we were going to go over one together, but I can't. Ms. Sharp, can you bring us? You remember that email that we with the rubric? Okay. Well, okay. So we're going to there is a rubric that each standard will have, and it's based off 1 through 4, 4 being the highest. So if you think that that particular standard deserves a 3 or a 4, then you will have to have supporting evidence for that. Okay? If it's a 1 or a 2, then you'll have to write up an action plan, what your recommendations are. We don't want to have too many 1s and 2s, but if we do, we need to kind of write up an action plan for that. Okay? So I was going to go over that, but it's pretty self-explanatory when you get in your group. Now, when you get ready to write your statements, yes.
Just real quick, Ms. West. So you're meaning, like, if our group thinks that using results for continuous improvement is not a 4, maybe a 1 or 2, if we feel that way as a group,
Yeah.
we grade ourselves. That's okay.
Yeah, you grade yourself, but that's the broad topic for your standard. I'm going to give you the indicators. I have indicators in based off your particular standard, and I guess I could read. I wanted to go on one that was in standard 3. Okay, so standard 3. One of the indicator is grading and reporting are based on clearly defined criteria that represents the attainment of knowledge, of content knowledge and skills, and are consistent across grade levels and courses. Okay, so 4 will be all teachers consistently use common grading and reporting policies, processes, and procedures based on clearly defined criteria that represents each student's attainment of content and skills, not just skills. So that would be a 4. If you think all teachers. 3 is just says teachers use common. So the difference between 3 and 4 is that it says all teachers. The other one says teachers use common grading and reporting policies. So you'll go through that and you'll
Each indicator.
Okay. So I think you all can do this because I know a lot of people have gone through this process before, and we're going to put you all in groups, and then you can either work in here if you want to go to another room, if you want to go to professional learning lab, if you want to go into the classroom, that's up to you. Just let me know where you're going because I'm going to kind of come around and see if there's anything that you need from me. I'm going to try to print out the results from the survey, and if you need any other results or anything that I can get, I'll do that. I'm just kind of working everybody. Do y'all have any questions? I just created a PowerPoint to talk. I just talked about it. It was, but the PowerPoint was, I just pulled some information from Advanced Ed. I just kind of briefly gave you it was an overview about what you're doing.
Actually, for another school, do we have one for our, like a past one that we could look at?
Yes.
Yes, I'll pull
Is that
it.
online structure pretty much the same as it was the last time we did it?
Well, the last time we did it, you remember we had boxes and we had the, this time we're uploading everything. All our documents were uploaded. From the last time, I don't kind of remember. I remember we had the scanners, but I don't know if I remember the indicators. I don't know. Yeah.
We could make a copy of the last SACS or advanced ed report. It's downstairs. We can make a copy of it.
Okay.
You think it'd be beneficial to have that in each group?
At least for,
I think so,
at
but
least
I've
for the
never
5.
seen it
Okay,
before.
at least for the 5 groups. At least
Okay.
one copy.
Okay.
Last year's.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure you all get a copy of it. Okay. Yes.
So and I'm trying to make sure, when you're saying each standard, if you say it's a 4 or a 1, we need to make sure we put supporting evidence.
Right,
for-
if it's a 4, say for instance, you say that all teachers use common grading practices. Well, how do they know that? So, you have to find out what evidence you're gonna use, for that.
So we might have to know, if that one, you have to get rubrics for different grades.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right. And then, when you get your particular, standard, it'll have, possible evidence. These are just only some suggested possible evidence. You can add or you don't have to use them all, but they give you possible evidence. Let me see what the possible evidence for, 3 would be. Okay, for that one, possible evidence, policies, processes, and procedures on grading and reporting, sample communication to stakeholders about grading and reporting, sample report cards for each grading level of all courses, evaluation processes for grading and reporting practices. So they give you some examples or some possible evidence that you may use, but you don't necessarily have to use those. Okay? And this is really to make our school better. I remember, I think it was 5 years ago, I think one of the things the kids said there was no school spirit and some things. And so we tried to do the parade. Remember we did the parade and for homecoming, and they complained about lunches. We did give better lunches. Well, we had a new lunchroom manager, and when Ms. Barbara was here, and she did. So it worked. I think we talked about changing our name from being Ramsey Alternative High School, but some documents still show up as alternative. Because my daughter said alternative, that's bad. But so, and I went to a workshop that had Ramsey Alternative High School, and I said, I'm so sorry. You know, I said, no, it's a good place. But so those things that if you we need to make some changes to our school, this is the time that we can do that. Okay. So I think everyone has their assignments of what group they're in. So group 1, Ms. Bridget, you just tell me where you are. You want to go to. You all want to break out to different tables, different groups. Okay, you must have the wrong color. Red. Yeah. You have 5, right? Is that 5?
Self-assessment is what it says. Yeah, it's 5.
Okay, you have one. Okay, so if you all have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna try to print those results out, and then I get them to you. So you all get in your group.
We're gonna be here, we don't have to be here, but we'll work today, we'll take a lunch at 11:30 to 1, and come back and we'll close out around 3 o'clock. And after today, each individual chairperson will meet with their group and decide on when they're gonna be, between now and
why I say if you can try to do as much as you can today, so, you won't have to spend,
Next Friday.
yeah, next Friday will be done.
So the day the chairperson, they don't need to, they can schedule other meetings and be done.
Okay, thank you all so much. That is co-chairperson.
That's all. Down here. Oh.